My country, Russia, has started war against Ukraine, and the feeling that I have now about my life, all of my family life, before that event, I feel it like a burnt tree. It's just a total representation of how I feel about my past, about my country, about how devastating a war on all people involved in these horrible events. So my idea was just to show people that although how beautiful those burnt trees are, but at the same time how dreadful they are.
It's so lovely that we met you, because it's really exactly what I think we expect to do. People who would like to be ambassador of the island, of the city, and we are really like this, because we love with all our soul this island, and we would like to share our opinion with different type of people, and special for abroad. And I think our common goal should be to show them that this is one of the best places in the world, really, where you can live and you can walk, and especially if you have family, you have children, and you like different type of activities.
People, stories, social issues, environment, sports, arts and culture, life, urban issues, innovation. This is the L-Air Uncut.
Welcome. Welcome to Limassol Ambassadors, the series of podcasts with very interesting guests, all of them living in Limassol, loving Limassol, and trying to do the best for the future of Limassol. So we've decided to talk about diversity. Why? Because diversity is essential for the future of any city, anywhere in Europe. So every day we have someone that has already shown that is here to contribute and is here to give as much as possible the positive side of diversity to all of us living in Limassol. And today I have here with me Ilya and Katerina. And thank you very much, first of all, for taking the time to be here with us. And I am sure that we are going to enjoy all the stories you're going to tell us, because you are two great examples of two international citizens that as soon as you put your foot on this island, you have straight away started to look for ways of contributing to the society that it is now your new home. I'm going to start with Ilya, if that's okay with you, because I feel that our connection was just a few days ago. I discovered that you were here on the island through this amazing moment at the exhibition of Resource 2.0 at the IT quarter, an area that I think a lot of us who are Limassolians for so many years, we don't even know exists, and it is very promising. So one of the things that, one of the events that it was organized in this area, this Resource 2.0, had a very interesting exhibition where you were one of the visual artists that brought in a very interesting work. It was an installation called For If I Fail. Very deep. I was very I would say even moved by the way you took a topic that is very important and is a big challenge for all of us in Cyprus. And I'm going to ask you now, how did we come to this, and how did you come to this topic, so that I'll give you the opportunity of telling your story.
Right, yes. This installation, well, basically, let's start not from installation, but from the exhibition itself. Exhibition was dedicated to environment, and the problems that are associated with the let's say communication between people living here and environment in which they are living. And one of the let's say very powerful communication between the nature and people living here, from what I saw while I was here, and I saw it many times, was wildfires. Wildfires, they have a devastating effect on the nature, on the little animals that live in those wild forests. And the even more devastating is the picture after the wildfire has finished its job. It's just the remainders of the trees, the burned trees, that can survive through, I don't know how many tens of years, maybe in 20, 30, 40 years. They're still there. They still show that there was a fire here, and they're just like the monuments of the human inability to prevent such a devastating events, because most of the fire, according to the fire statistics in Cyprus, is ignited by the men. It's I think 85% of all fire events, they are happening because of the people. Either it's the agricultural activity, or hunters, or tourists, or whatever other people are doing with fire, and they do it so let's say irresponsibly, that then we have those huge lands that are free of any life for many years to come. And that very much resonated to my own feeling about my life, that has changed in 2022. My country, Russia, has started war against Ukraine, and the feeling that I have now about my life, our life, all of my family life, before that event, I feel it like a burnt tree. It's just a total representation of how I feel about my past, about my country, about how devastating a war on all people involved in these horrible events. So my idea was just to show people that although how beautiful those burnt trees are, but at the same time how dreadful they are. And so how I came to the idea to show this burnt tree in the exhibition environment, so that people can abstractly get an impression of how devastating all those fires are on the planet and on us people living on this planet.
Definitely a very interesting angle, and also a very good opportunity for you to share with others how you feel as well about your new chapter in your life, and how things were so abruptly ended in one part of the world, and
Right.
you had to find another solution where you could redesign your life, and that choice brought you to Cyprus, to Limassol more specifically. I feel that this exhibition, it was an amazing opportunity, precisely not just for us to go and see what other people, other artists are doing with not just materials that come from waste, because it was a very interesting number of those works were done with old bottles and plastics that they were found in the garbage on the beaches and all that. So it was definitely an interesting way of seeing how people can put artistic, let's say, messages in so ugly and sometimes even dirty elements and things we find here and there. But for me, the most interesting of that event was the fact that we felt from the very beginning, I didn't know the organizers, I didn't know who was going to be there exposing either installations or other works. I'm just curious. So I just went there to see what is happening there. And I felt straight away this very, very well-connected international community, not just because the works, they were from different nationalities. We had people from all sorts of nationalities. And we had also a very clear purpose on bringing together the international artists, the international community with the local community. And this is why, for me, this exhibition, it was a very interesting moment, because I met you both. And I feel that this is, anyway, one of the reasons why I feel everybody should go to cultural events. It's not just to see the arts, but also to meet with the people that are there, because we have one thing that connects us, is the curiosity of going and checking out what is there, who is doing what, and all this. So, and this amazing atmosphere, in fact, we can now see through your work. In your case, as an artist, but now also Katerina, she's going to tell us a bit about her background, but I have to say that what I was straight away very impressed with your story was the fact that you as well, from the moment you came to Cyprus, even though, as Ilya now just said, the circumstances were not that pleasant, so I don't even know how to imagine how disruptive all this change for you must have been. But nevertheless, you found a way of trying to reach out and trying to see, okay, let's see what we can do in this new place that we are going to build our home. And I would like Katerina to start by telling us about what you have done already and just some of the initiatives that you have already started with in parallel, so simultaneously, with some of your Russian international citizens, but also with local authorities and Cypriot citizens. Please tell us about what you have been doing, because you've been busy.
My professional life in previous life in Russia was connected to change environment and urban spaces and public spaces, and we did a lot, and we work a lot with museums, universities, hospitals. And of course, when I came here, it was interesting for me to see what I can do for this beautiful island. But on the other hand, of course, I can say that all our family and to be with Ilya, we are involved in different type of cultural events and different type of cultural sphere. And one of the interesting events here, when we started to communicate with a lot with local people, it was Biennale, Contemporary Art Biennale in Larnaca, and I think we was like ambassador of this Biennale in Limassol, because it's very important. It's not so far away, and it was interesting to tell people that they need to go, and even native citizens not so often they knew about that. And at that time we were thinking that my own goal, not only like professional but like human, is to connect people through art. I like art, I like especially contemporary art, and this is a very nice field where we can share our ideas, where we can share our values, and where we can understand each other in another level, not like in a business and not how famous or how rich we are. We can really be like a human person, and we started several activities which we try to sometimes we try to connect with authorities people, with business people here. First of all is this big project to make architectural guide, and I think it's very important because a lot of people living in Limassol, and of course, according to the war, a lot of Russians came here, and more of them they came from a big city, and it's a big difference. We have a lot of nice opportunities here, like a climate and nature, and a lot of, but still it's not so big infrastructure and not so many possibilities for your free time activities. That's why sometimes people they're thinking that they're living in a village, but it's not true. And we would like to make this more known for people and explain them that here we can find a lot of buildings which were built in century 20 and 21, and these buildings belong to very interesting time, like brutalism, modernism. This is the style which not so easy to find, according that it's a lot of science near buildings and a chaotic system what we have. And we made 3 roads which you can go independently and find some good examples of these styles here.
Right. I'm going to stop you there, if I may, because I think it's a very, very important and interesting initiative. And honestly, I didn't know about it at all. So it means that you already have created itineraries. So it's like a route so that people can follow by themselves. What does that mean? It means it's an app, it's an application,
It's
or is it a
website.
website?
Yeah, it's website, and
Yes.
of course you can use your phone for this. And we have. I can show the examples that you have some interesting building, and we can see like
of Cyprus.
map of I think it's the map of Limassol,
yes.
and we made 3 routes, and the distance not so big that you can spend 1 hour, and more or less it's 10 15 max put to this route, and you can read about different buildings, and not only history about buildings, but also who were living in this, who were architect of this, and how it was built, and why especially here.
Very interesting. So you have done the research yourselves?
We invited a historical person who really knew about that a lot, and he did it for Limassol and Larnaca.
Very interesting.
And this project was included to Biennale, and we presented in Larnaca, and it was a rather big presentation here in Limassol Castle, where we invited 300 people. It was in the guard of castle, and we tried to explain them that now they can use it themselves, and special maybe for the children, and of course
for schools.
It would be a good initiative to present it to school, that they can make the excursion themselves or with a teacher. It would be nice, and especially that it can change mind of the people where they live.
Of course. You know that we have, I think all countries, they have this sort of saying that whenever you have an orange tree in your garden, you forget to eat oranges because it's there all the time. You just take it for granted. And then if you don't have it and you go to someone else's garden, they have an orange tree, you go, oh my God, what is this? It's so delicious, So I think it's very important what you have been doing there.
I agree, and especially that a lot of people and tourists, when they're coming here, they maybe can visit some heritage examples of previous Greek style here. But we try to put attention more for modern architecture, and it's very, very important. And I think it's necessary to continue. To be honest, it was our charity project, and we did it for our own money. And
So you have donated this to the community. With your own work, with your own research. Of course, you got your own researcher and all this. So how do you feel when you do this? I mean, do you feel that this is like something, as you said before, is like your human connection happening? You're trying to reach out to the people, to the community, to the authorities. Does it make you feel good?
I think it's both ways. First of all, of course, we were proud that it was included to Biennale, and we saw that a lot of people are interested in this, and we make excursion, and it was 50% for each, and all of them were really asked, can you continue? But it's not so easy to do, and all these roles, like I told, put in website, and you can do your own. But I think we were expecting that it would be more reaction maybe from authorities or from somebody else to continue this work, especially for Nicosia it's necessary, and maybe to include some nature examples. It would be interesting. And in future, of course, it can be heritage, because we know that a lot of interesting church here with a lot of history, castles and something like that. Now we only put attention only 20th and 21st century architecture here. But still, I hope that we will continue, and we start this project, and we named it Sfera Space. And at the same time, we try to make open partnership, like Sfera Partners, that everybody who would like to help us or to connect through art or have the idea of the project, they can come to us and we can do it together. And it's so lovely that we met you, because it's really exactly what I think we expect to do. People who would like to be ambassador of the island, of the city, and we are really like this, because we love with all our soul this island, and we would like to share our opinion with different type of people, and especially for abroad. And I know that not so many European people would like to live here, like to work here. They maybe can come here to be a tourist, but it's also some company, they have a problem to hire such kind of people. And I think our common goal should be to show them that this is one of the best places in the world, really, where you can live and you can work, and especially if you have family, you have children, and you like different type of activities. That's why I think it's very important. And to continue this, now we have our second project. I was thinking that also a lot of people try to tell me that not so many cultural projects here. Sometimes it is boring for me what I can see. But I can say that it is not true. And we start activities and organize the first Cyprus International Theatre Festival. And it's also our reason was not to support only Russian community, which we of course belongs, and it's easy for us to communicate, but we really would like to communicate with different nationalities here, and that's why it was really international theater festival, and it's involved a lot of from different country directors.
Where did you do it? You already started, you say?
We already started, and now it's continue. It's already held 2 performances. One, it was Russian, but the person who lived in Germany, very famous, Serebrennikov, and it was performance from his company, Friends of Serebrennikov, and also he showed some movie in cinema. And another in John Malkovich, also it was really very popular. I think all tickets was sold, and it was in Patihio Theater. And I was really very satisfied and happy that it was I think
house,
more than 50% Cyprus people. And it really was interesting for me that we can give this information, because my company was responsible for making brand for this festival and all advertising activities, design activities, visual activities, how to bring this information to the people, and it's really big success. And now it would be 3 more, and one even it would be from Cyprus direct, and it would be near Nicosia on Red Lake.
Okay.
It's really very interesting, and we have a website, and
And the website is?
it's the abbreviate, the first letters, Cyprus International Theatre Festival,
Okay.
CICF.
Okay. All right. And
Yeah.
this as you mentioned, is a festival that you started. It was your own initiative?
No, it's
No?
not only me. Of course, we have a really good producer. He is also from Russia, came Alexander Weinstein, and he came to me that he has this idea, and he has really good relationship with different theaters and these people. And it was also before I had the same idea, and I really would like to support him, and we did like a charity, what we can do to this festival. Like I told that we did a brand and all this advertising campaign.
So all this, it has been, if it would be in business sphere, it would be donation. In your case, is your input, your impact in many different formats. But again, I repeat myself because I think it's important. The most interesting for me element in everything you have done from the moment you arrive is the fact that you have always tried to bridge these two worlds, the locals and whoever you could have access to. Mainly, of course, it would be from your own country. That's what we all do. I mean, all internationals, the first thing we do when we arrived here, we looked for, the community of our own country. But the important is to, at the same time, bridge as well the connections with others as well. And you have done that. I would like to ask you, in terms of this theater concept, because I'm not at all knowledgeable in this area, but I know that there are many, let's say, schools in theater. Cyprus is very strong with the Greek tragedy. In Russia, I'm sure, is different. Have you managed to somehow as well connect those two different, let's say, types of performance?
Yeah, it's on the one hand, it's very important to connect, but from another point, also not so many events here which we can call like contemporary. And a lot of events are more or less traditional. And this is also very pity for the island, and I think for a new generation. And sometimes my human goal also to make open door for a new generation to the culture. And what I did in Russia, we changed a lot of museums, and it's very important that teenagers and children, they can feel in museum like a very easy way, not like at home, but they can come and easy to do and have some
interactive.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think our purpose to bring more contemporary culture here. It's more or less more modern. But like I told you, if we have Cyprus director, of course, he has background Greek tragedy, and I think even his event, it's more about
tragedy. Greek tragedy. Yeah, I just mentioned this, not because, as I said already anyway, not because I know if it is an important element or not, but I was just trying to see if this was also part of the way of you connecting both sort of traditional type of theater and performance. But I agree 100% with you. I believe that this is one of the major duties of all of us who have the opportunity of bringing different sort of influences. It's not just in art; it's in any area of the society. It's very important that we bring new ideas from other places in other parts of the world, because otherwise we stagnate. I mean, I've seen my own country, Lisbon, beautiful city with so many beautiful palaces and castles, but it's only after a certain generation decided to turn those castles into more of an experience for the visitor rather than just a wall to look at. It's when you start attracting more people, and then it goes everywhere. Technology has to be brought in to the tradition so that we can make sure that the tradition is still attractive for the new generation.
Yeah, it's
so
the main.
I agree 100% with what
it
you're
should
doing.
be the traditional
Yes.
is still attractive, and how to do that? It's we need to find special way. And here, of course, for us, for example, castle. The castle here is the heart of the city, and everybody can meet near the castle. And of course, a lot of restaurants and all tourists and I think citizens of Limassol, they are coming to the castle. And for me, it is very pity. But when I ask somebody, have you visited like museum? Mostly I have the answer no. And this is very pity. I think also can be like initiative to change something for exhibition inside and to bring a little bit, to destroy a little bit rule about traditional museum, because we can see some examples in Paphos and in Nicosia. They did only to start this process, but we can do really the best and interesting museum. It's the best location. They have really good view up and to change a little bit atmosphere, to bring something technology, to explain people, because it was place where people were living, and we can do that. And maybe to organize some special classes for children that they can spend the weekend and to know about the previous dates. It would be interesting. Right. And we have this experience, and of course we would like to share, and sometimes it's difficult to find the right door to whom to
now
go.
We came to a very important point of our conversation. I always ask for suggestions. So here you are, you have very specific ready projects that you are dying to see out there being taken into practice and get them developed. And now, doors. Which door to knock? And this is where I believe most of our guests here, they mentioned the fact that we need more channels of communication with the local authorities. We need more also openness from the local authorities, because right now we have to say Limassol is the biggest city in Cyprus. If you see the numbers, it's not the capital, the biggest city, it's Limassol. And we have an amazing mix of different nationalities that are here willing to help, willing to contribute. So we definitely need to have a sort of channel, a body, I don't know, something that will allow all these ideas to get to the top, to those who have really the possibility of giving the green light. Until now, what have you done and how have you felt?
But it is like you told, it's difficult to find the right door, and a little bit I feel sometimes tired, because to be honest, I sent so many presentations to everybody to whom I know. But it was, of course, when I started in Russian, it was the same. But now I have a lot of experience, and not so. I think this situation with war, we can say that a lot of good specialists came here, and we need to use their experience. It's really very seldom that you have such kind of very good quality with
expertise.
Yeah,
It's a
and
big mix of expertise.
yeah, we did a lot of, for example, navigation system for city, for different type of city, and it's very important. It's important for tourists and even numbering for the housing. If you know, in Limassol, sometimes it's so difficult to find if somebody invite you to be a guest, and it's important to do that. It's not so big amount of money, but you need to find professional team and to organize it, and it would be a lot of information about also heritage building, about different type of city, and you can have a look. And even more, if you ask about our favorite place, Limassol, it's not only city, it's a big area, and sometimes it is necessary to put in a map Fasula or Limnatis or another village, and it also would be in a map, and people, tourists, they're not only sitting near the sea.
Not just tourists.
Yeah, and
Even us,
Because if you
Yes.
see on this map, people mostly marked the coastline.
Exactly.
Mostly. And just rarely we see pins in mainland. So because nobody knows, but actually it's such a joy to travel between different villages and see different nature wonders that are a lot of them in Cyprus and in Limassol area. Just half an hour drive from your home, and you get into amazing places.
Another world,
Just
like another world.
yeah, another world. Forests, amazing pine woods, like gorgeous waterfalls, whatever, everything that you can find here. It's amazing.
And also I can mention that here what I see in Cyprus, it looks like a little bit competition between Larnaca, Paphos and
Yes,
Limassol.
there
And it's good, I think. It's even maybe give us more opportunity to develop more fast and to bring something new, and who would be the first, it would be great. And this is also the reason that if you will do something, it would be nice, and after that another cities, they will repeat it. And special this because really we have like also some region in Russia, Yaroslavska Oblast, and it's really like a golden ring city where it's interesting, but all of them, they compete each other to where to bring more tourists. And the map, a good map, really help people to understand that you can go there, and after that you can plan your stay here, or really
sometimes even to decide where are you going to settle your house, your business, because I see, as you very well said, the majority of the international citizens now living in Limassol, they end up by all going to the seafront because it's the easiest also in terms of access, but it's also where more is happening. So we end up by having a saturated center, saturated area along the seafront, when we could be a little bit more spread out and have less issues as well with traffic and many other issues. So I really agree 100%. And I feel again that you really managed to spot another very important point, which is the navigation matters and the lack of tools for us to be able to look around. I always say that whenever someone comes and they want to, where am I going to settle? Where am I going to live? Where am I going to rent or buy a house? Well, first of all, you have to explore all the areas. When I moved here, I went and I explored area by area to understand, to feel what is it to be in this or that area, this or that quarter of the city. And your work, I really hope that after this conversation we'll find ways of letting the right people come to you. Your work in terms of navigation system and in terms of bringing these ideas like the ones you mentioned at the beginning with new itineraries to let us discover the city that we live in for decades, I feel is a very smart and straight to the point of the needs for the future of Limassol. So we are definitely very, very happy to have you with us. And you mentioned there something already about your favorite spots. You know that I'm going to ask you where is going to be your pin? Where are you going to put your pin? So you mentioned already I think it's Ilya who mentioned Fasula. Can you tell us a little bit more? And while you put your pin there, tell us why you feel that Fasula is the...
Fasula is a very small village, which is only 15 minutes drive from the center of Limassol, but it's already in the hills, up in the hills. So it's got a little bit different climate and different flora.
Yes, vegetation.
Vegetation, as the center of the village is very historical, it's got very nice little home run restaurant which you have to make an appointment before you come.
Yeah, and they prepare especially for you.
Prepare especially for you, and that's happening in the really old house with old furniture. I don't know if we use the old cooking ware, but you definitely feel authenticity.
Right.
If you go just beyond Fasula, it's where lots of hiking route starts. So you don't need to go far away to have a really good hike. From there you can go up into the little hill from where you can see just the whole coastline of Limassol with all the skyscrapers. In a good weather you can see also the Salt Lake and it's
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
So it's one of your favorite spots.
It's just 15 minutes. I go there actually on my bike. I am an avid cyclist. I go there every second day, so I pass it by. That's my favorite nearby spot.
All right. Okay. So let's spin it, please. Okay. And now I'm going to ask you. It's your turn, Katerina, to put your pin. Where would you put your pin?
I think I would like to put my pin where it was this exhibition resource.
Right.
I think it's a very nice place, warehouse, and hold this line. Hopefully, it would be developed very soon because they have Edka, it will form a wine factory, and now they also have a lot of events in this area. And this warehouse, it's interesting to see how gentrification coming to the city of Limassol when it was former and destroyed area. Now they just built something new, and it's a new energy. And like we saw, it was exhibition 4 days, and really whole Instagram filled a lot of pictures from this, a lot of photos.
Even today I was told that they bring the schoolers with excursions.
Very
So
good.
that
Very good.
so that really made like the triggered the whole chain of events that may bring the new generations of Limassol to live more responsibly with regards to the surrounding nature.
Yes, I 100%
That's
agree
why
with you.
I put it somewhere
Yes.
here, I think.
Very well. So we have now the warehouse by IT Quarter. I was told it was the name.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to say again that it was an amazing surprise for me. I have spoken about it already with many other people since I went to the exhibition. Okay, some of them, they already knew about it. So they said, what, Paula, you didn't know about this? So maybe it's my fault that I didn't pay attention to all the events there. But nevertheless, it's something that is growing. And I honestly again say that the important example there is to see how international citizens of Limassol, they are so committed to put together the efforts of different backgrounds, different cultures, and make them work in something which is so important in this case for the future as protecting the environment, together with the channel that in this case was the artistic channel, and then I presume many others are coming. The important is to have the people all under the same sort of umbrella, in the sense that they have all the same objective, which is to make something better in Limassol for our children, for the future generations. So for me, the important side of this podcast is exactly what happened with us, is for people to connect in different ways, maybe because of a project, maybe because they heard something during the podcast and they want to know more. So we invite everyone who wants to know more about anything to send us an email, which is info@limassoltoday.com.cy, info@limassoltoday.com.cy. I hope that through this series we allow anyone who had doubt about how positive diversity can be to understand that we can really do wonders when we put our efforts and we work together in any project. There is absolutely no limitation. I would like again to remind the two important points of what you have said so far, which is the need to have a better channel with local authorities, so that anyone, any group of citizens who wish to bring something that is going to be positive to the city, to have an open window, to have a possibility to bring ideas on board and let them see happening, because it's for the benefit of all of us. And also, I would like to say again, thank you very much for your sensibility through your installation to show that once we move to a new place, we can, first of all, apart from our own personal matters, we can, first of all, try to understand the community so that we see where can we fit in and how can we contribute. And it was very interesting and very emotional to see both your works and your paths. So thank you very much once more for being here, and thank you as well for everyone who is listening or watching. We definitely hope to have more Limassol ambassadors in the next podcasts, and we are always ready to listen from your suggestions. You can send us an email, as I said, at info@limassoltoday.com.cy. Thank you, and till next podcast.
This is the L Air Uncut.